My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Promising Young Woman. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I did see this movie in 2020, and I just loved it. I thought this movie was brilliant. But 2020 Gavin isn't the same as this Gavin. I was far more liberal back then, and now I'm definitely more conservative. So I was curious to go back to this one and see if my mind changed. And only a little bit. I still really like this movie. I do got a few more issues, but they aren't anything political. So let's begin by talking about the cast, and Carey Mulligan gives the performance of her career here. She is phenomenal. There is so much she had to do, and she just does it all perfectly. She brought real emotional depth to her character, and she carries this movie incredibly well. Bo Burnham is also terrific because for 98% of this movie, he has to play the super nice, good guy, and he does a great job at that. But when you find out about his true character, he also does that incredibly well, and it's just a really layered performance that he knocked out of the park. Clancy Brown and Jennifer Coolidge plays Cassie's parents, and I thought they did a perfectly fine job. Alison Brie is in this movie for a little bit, and she does good. Adam Brody, it's always nice to see him in a movie, and I thought he did a perfectly fine job here. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, he does good. Chris Cowell, he does a very good job. Coney Brighton does a good job. Laverne Cox, Molly Shannon, both did good. But I also really want to talk about Alfred Molina because he's only in this movie for technically two scenes, but really it's one scene. And in this one scene, he has to bring an entire different perspective to the story. He had to bring some real emotion and real regret. And he fully delivered. He is just outstanding in his 3 minutes of screen time, and I was so very impressed. So the cast is great here, and I do think this movie is well directed by Emerald Fennell. The movie is very well shot. I do like the bubblegum aesthetic it has at times. It sounds good. I like the use of the soundtrack throughout, but it's the script that really stands out here because there is so much on this movie's mind about accountability and guilt and trauma and trying to move on. And I gotta be careful with my words here because it's YouTube, but grape culture, men are taking advantage of women. And there is so much this movie is trying to say, and I think it says most of it quite effectively. And you've also just got this character who is so broken and so beaten down that she has made her entire life purpose to be about this one thing, and she's just been incapable of moving on. And throughout this movie, we see her actually try to move on. And there's this one montage that starts in a pharmacy store where it really seems like she's going to be able to live a happy life. She almost had her happy ending. So when Alison Brie gives Cassie that video, it's tragic for so many different reasons, and this movie has emotional weight when needed. I also like all the different twists and turns this movie has. Sometimes you think to yourself, how far gone is Cassie? How much bad stuff is she doing here? And then we find out okay, like she didn't cross that line, and I do like how it constantly surprises you. It constantly subverts your expectation. This is clearly a script that had lots of thought put into it, and I do think 85-90% of this movie is actually fantastic. But the ending kind of sucks. Like, I don't know, maybe call me basic, but I maybe would have preferred just a more straightforward revenge ending. Well, Cassie loses her happy ending, and as a result, she loses herself entirely. Like, I don't know, I feel like that would have fit this movie more because I just found the direction they went to be so unsatisfying. Like, I get it that she was so ahead of the game, and she got someone who had true regret to help her out. But like, I don't know how much of the ending I actually buy because so much of this movie is about the systems in place that allow people to get away with terrible acts. And okay, you can find proof to get Alvin to go down, but like, like Cassie's sending text to Wine, and Wine's probably going to be just fine. Like that video, it should, but the truth is, it won't really amount to any arrests. And then you also get this one scene with Wine and a police officer, and they're talking about Cassie, and he's just obviously discounting it as anything seriously. And then at the end of the movie, we see him arresting someone. Like, I don't know, I just don't buy it. It feels like a cop-out. And, I don't know, I even Cassie dying there, like, it felt like a very unsatisfying direction to go. And, yeah. And it also goes on for a bit too long. Like, Cassie dies at like the hour 35 mark, and the movie ends almost at the hour 50-minute mark. Like, at an eventual point, you kind of just want the movie to end. So, I still love so much about this movie. I don't think this is a movie saying that all men are bad. I don't think it's saying that at all, but I do think it's trying to hold evil men and their evil actions accountable. And you even see her talking to Alison Brie as someone who also was, what's the word? She took part in the same evil acts. And then you also get someone like Alfred Molina, who isn't perfect by any means, but he has true regret. And I think this movie is just about accountability and moving forward and what is the best way to remember someone. And I don't know, I feel like this movie really does have a lot on its mind. I think it's a very smartly written movie. It's well acted, it's well directed. I just wish the ending was better because it just ends on a real shit note where it does kind of taint the rest of the movie just a little bit. But it's still really good, so I'm giving Promising Young Woman a 7.5 out of 10. It really is a shame that Emma Fennell's first movie was something this good, and then her next movie was Saltburn. So disappointing. But anyways, Promising Young Woman. Have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.